Okay, and we're live. Hello everyone, welcome to... Okay, and we're live. And I always forget to mute myself. Okay, sorry, to mute my stream. Hello everyone, welcome to another day of casting Alchemy League Season 6. Today we have 3 sets. Let me just show them to you. So the first one, okay, yeah, it's showing. Okay, so the first one is going to be between Oladushek and Ray. So Oladushek is, sorry, 1 second, I have to, okay, sorry. So as I was saying, Oladushek is a player who has played in other seasons of the league. So he's not a newcomer. And as you can see, he is around 2k and he is from Belarus. Ray, on the other hand, he has had a highest of 1900. He's currently sitting at 1700. But I was talking to him before the tournament. I actually managed to convince him to sign up, and he was telling me he hadn't basically played for a couple of months before the start, so yeah, he's 1700, but that's because he's rusty. So I don't know if he had time to prepare properly before the match we're going to be seeing. But yeah, he has the potential of being 1900. So yes, light ill advantage for Oladushek. We'll see how this one is going to be playing out. And Ray, as you can see, he is from the US. So, the map for game 1 is going to be Lagoon Forest, meaning that this was played in the 4th and last round of Sprint 1. So after this set, both players are going to have, I think, a couple of weeks of a break before the second sprint starts. And game 2 was played on Shimmerpool. So, save-wise, as always, we have our 5 random admin bans, so Magyars, Sicilians, Portuguese, Bohemians, and Vikings. And then Oladushek proceeded to ban Byzantines and Persians, whereas Ray banned Georgians and Spanish. Oladushek, after getting his Dravidian pick sniped, was left with Japanese, Slavs, and Armenians, whereas Ray, after getting his Malay pick sniped, was left with Cumans, Italians, and Mongols. And knowing Ray, I do not think he was happy about getting his Malay sniped. I know he likes to play them, but he still had some pretty good saves left. Same goes for Oladushek. Also, I think Oladushek, we've seen him play Dravidians a lot in previous seasons, especially the 4th one on the Alaska style maps. And I remember him making good use of the discount that Dravidians get in their barracks technologies, and he was going men at arms, he was going towers, so I think he really likes Dravidians. I mean, Japanese can play in a similar way, but still, I've seen him play a lot of Dravidians in previous seasons. Anyway, that was the draft. With that out of the way, let me jump into the first game, which, as I mentioned, is going to be on Lagoon Forest. Alright, so Lagoon Forest, I think I've casted it a couple of times already, so I'm just going to give a brief introduction to anyone who's watching this for the first time and has no idea what the map looks like. As you can see from the minimap, and for the bird view that we get by zooming out, the map is divided in different sections by these small lakes and rivers connecting the lakes. Now, I say the rivers are connecting the lakes, but at the same time, you can see there is trees, right? So there is hybrid terrain underneath the trees, the same you see here. So it is possible to eventually cut down the trees, go there with villagers, make a dock, and get the resources in these small lakes. As you can see, we do have oysters, so it's not just fish. Eventually, you can also get gold from the small eggs, and I mean it's not as much as a a standard gold mine, but it's 1350, so it's nothing to scoff at. It's better than nothing, let's put it that way. So the way we've seen this map being played is people tend to wall the gaps between the trees and basically played it out like a closed map. So they tend to boom up to the later ages, and then they take the fight in Castle Age or even Imperial. That said, with that in mind, we've also seen people go very aggressive, either with a castle drop followed by unique unit play, or even in feudal, just going for feudal aggression with archers. I believe someone made scouts as well. I do not remember if it was a game I casted or a game Tech casted and I was watching. But yeah, I think I've seen that. So Ray, speaking of civs, he has Cumans. So I believe this is going to be a boomy approach from Ray. And last time we casted, I believe we had a set where I think it was Jasuki who went Cumans. I know it was the Jasuki set. I do not remember if it was him or his opponent who went Cumans. Yeah, it was Jasuki. And then the opponent was Splash Werewolf, who went Byzantines and tried to go for a castle drop with unique unit pressure. So we'll see if Ray tries to do the same approach, just second TC and boom away. And honestly, he does have a couple of nice spots for second TC. Could drop it here on the gold, drop it here on the gold, and it would protect even better the wood line. Here. I mean, here it would be exposed, but if you're also walling this side, then it's not as exposed as it would normally be. He could even be sneaky and drop it back here if he wanted to. It's quite far away from the TC, but he could do it if he wanted. Ray thanking his opponent. I'm not sure for what. Maybe sheep? Yeah, Oladushek probably was sent back as sheep. Maybe by mistake. Anyway, speaking of Oladushek, he is playing the Slavs. Now, Slavs, I believe they are good Black Forest Civ. I wouldn't say they are top tier. I think people would rather have something like Teutons or Bohemian, stuff like that, but they are up there. And they do have a very good Man-at-Arms play with the current state of the game, because they used to get supplies and gambesons for free, but now supplies has been removed from the game, so they no longer get that one. They still get gambesons for free and arson, which gives infantry plus more attack against buildings. As you can see, it is free for the Slavs, and it has been moved to feudal age. So Slavs, the moment they get to feudal age, they get arson for free. So you just get man-at-arms, and you can break into your opponent's base quite easily, I would say. Ray dropping the second TC on the berries. Huh. Well, that's a choice, I suppose. Well, he sees the militia coming forward. He cannot exactly stop them. I mean, he cannot exactly wall up before they get here. He'll probably lose that will. Oladushek is going to try and be annoying here, but he's not feeling yet, so his scout was always going to be worse than Ray's. And Ray, I think he needs to... Yeah, you need to wall this. Small wall that. Yeah. So, humans, they can build a second TC in feudal age, but it goes up slower. So, if this was a Castle Age TC, then you probably do not need to wall it. But being a feudal TC, you do need to wall it. And I think it's going to get denied. Yeah, Man-at-Arms is going to come in. The villagers will building from downhill, so they're going to get extra damage dealt to them by the men at arms, who are quite speedy now. Ray, in true Ray's fashion, is going to will fight this. He is good at will fighting, so I'm not too afraid. Yeah, look at that. He's taking the weak villagers and sending them back. He has lost 2 villagers, so this is not ideal. Also, now, sure, he's got a TC here, but he's got no stone for a tower, and his wood line is going to get exposed, so he will have to take wood from here. And I don't know why he is... Yeah, you gotta run away. The issue is, now you have no gold access. So he will have to drop some military to be able to fight that back. To fight back Oladushek's pressure. And you take it from there. He is on 2 TCs, but this tower is going to deny this wood line. Oladushek walls it in. And Ray is not in a good spot. I have to say, very well played from Oladushek in punishing the Cuman second TC. I think there was a slight mistake. Well, there was a mistake from Ray in sending just 5 builds to build the TC, or maybe it was 4. Normally speaking, you want to send like 8 to either 8 or 9 villagers to build the TC in feudal because of how slowly it builds. So slight mistake from Raid. Okay, there are now skirmishers and archers coming out from Ray. There is men at arms and archers from Oladushek. Still no fletching, so this should be fine for Ray. And Ray is taking the build lead, despite having triple the amount of idle TC time, and that's the power of 2 TCs. Okay, there's flashing. So now this is going to be pretty scary for Ray. And Oladushek is dropping in the tower. And Oladushek really likes his tower play. I was fascinated by him in... Well, not by him, but by his playstyle in Season 4. On the Alaska maps. Because I think it was in the first round of the season. On a map, he went tower defense as Koreans, which is something you normally do not see. I'm personally a big fan of tower defense, like dropping extra towers in your base just for defensive purposes. People tend to not do that because of how much of an investment it is, stone-wise. But I like it, and I enjoy seeing people do that as well. And by the way, that's something Raid could be doing. Yeah, there we go. He's going to drop a tower. Oladushek will see that. I believe I saw him get Town Watch. Yeah, he did. So these outposts, they're going to show him everything. Yeah, he sees the tower. He's going to be able to deny it, I think. Yeah, it will get denied. Okay, no, because Ray... Yeah, Ray lures the man-at-arms away. That's good. Yeah, and now you can just shank down the man-at-arms. Not lose villagers. Yeah, Ray's not going to lose villagers there. Okay, as I say that, he loses one. Okay, and he is safe for the time being on this side. He still needs to take care of this tower. I mean, there's no army from Oladushek at the moment. So Ray could potentially just take 10 villagers and send them to the tower and take it down, because it was not walled in. Same goes for this one. I mean, no, I mean, you cannot do it on this one because there are archers on the field. So you will need some skirmishers of yourself. This is not a good eco. But I mean, behind this, Ray, he still has the eco lead. Despite 6 minutes of idle time. against A2 from Oladushek. He is starved for resources. He cannot take these farms because of the villagers. He's going for a tower here, which is right in range of Oladushek's line of sight. Oladushek is going to see the lumber camp. And okay, this tower will go up, and it should secure this area. Behind this, Oladushek, 7 farms. It's understandable. You could have more with Slavs, but he is busy microing this. This tower might get denied. Well, not denied, but it will go down. So will this one. It should go down. Oh no, because he's going to out-repair it. I mean, this will go down, which is nice. Yeah, just send more vills. Yeah, and he destroyed this one. Just took the villagers and sent them there. And Oladushek, yeah, he is idling. He wants to go up to castle. And Ray, he kind of stabilized behind this. It is going to be an issue, the fact that his opponent is going to be in castle in a bit. Ooh, nice. So he stops this small army of archers, which is all the army Oladushek has left. Now that I think about it, it would have been a big investment, but Ray could have just dropped a blacksmith, built a siege workshop, and used rams to take down the towers. I know he has no gold and has no safe gold access, but with that amount of wood, you could drop the blacksmith, the siege workshop, and the market. You sell some wood, and you get the gold needed for the rams. I mean, rams are what? 160 wood, 75 gold. I think if you sell something like 200 wood, or even stone, right? You're on stone, might as well sell some of it. You can probably pull that off. Now, Oladushek is up to castle, halfway there. He is going heavy on stone, so I believe he's planning a castle drop, which could work in the castle. I don't know. Well, maybe here it's too risky. Maybe here to destroy these towers. He's going to see the market from Ray. Oladushek gets to Castle Age, and Ray calls the GG. Yeah, I mean, there's a forward coming from Oladushek. Ray is going to be in Feudal Age for about another 10 minutes, I believe. So yeah, it's probably a good time to call the GG there. So well played to Oladushek, who takes the first game. Ray, I'm a little confused. So I do not like the position for the second TC. And I do not like the fact that he sent, I believe it was 4. Let's go back and see. It was either 4 or 5. Right, yeah. Yeah, he sent 5 and then took 1 to wall here. I don't know. I don't like that choice. you need to send 8 and maybe you drop it here. Right? Because, I mean, you do not know that the pressure is going to be coming. But you might expect it. So drop it in the back just to be sure. Or if you really want to wall up, instead of going 18 pop up to Feudal Age to drop the second TC, maybe you delay it. You got something like 20 pop. So it's not going to be as efficient, but if you go up that late, then you can start walling in Feudal Age. In Dark Age. So your opponent does not get into your base at all. And even if it does, by the time he does, you already have your second TC up, you have your eco set. You can maybe add, you know, the barracks, maybe a couple of archer ranges. You have access to gold if you drop the TC here, so yeah. It was a weird choice. But aside from that, I think he defended pretty well. Maybe he was a little late in taking down the towers when they were exposed with no villagers around to wall them or repair them, but at the same time, if you're busy microing on this side, you're not going to be thinking about that. So that's understandable. Anyway, let's take a look at statistics and then we'll get into game 2. So military, yeah, or army made by Oladushek. Better eco, that's Slav farms, basically. Yeah, Ray basically faster, but that didn't really help him. Anyway, game 2, let's get into that, which is going to be on Shimmerpool, if I remember correctly. And here we are. So, Shimmerpool, again, brief introduction for people who do not know this. As you can see, you have a body of lake in the middle, which sometimes, depending on the generation, can be frozen. So you see deep fish now, but there are some generations with just ice here in the middle, so no fish. You still get shorefish, and we've seen people still dock to get the shorefish. It's debatable whether that's worth it or not. I mean, generally speaking, yes, it is worth it to dock when you have fish on the map. But you could also make an argument that if you do not dock, then your land pressure is going to be coming in faster, so maybe you do not want to dock. So that's the lake in the middle. Then you have the woodlands all around the lake, or well, the body of water. And then you have stone and relics in the corners, right? You can walk through this rocky formation. The horses you see here in some generations, they are reskinned into rhinos. And I think there might be other animals as well. I think you do have a generation with camels. But if you see rhinos, they're not huntable. They're just reskinned horses. So do not even bother trying to go out there with villagers. You can hunt these steers and you can take these stray cows, but yeah, you cannot hunt the rhinoceros you see there. Now, close to the player's base, you do have 2 mines of gold, and they are 1,500 each. So they do have more gold than your standard amount that you would have on, say, Arabia or any other standard map. But that's all the gold you have around your base. And then you have to expand to the sides, and you get to 4 total gold mines divided into groups of 2, but they have 2k each. So there is in total a good amount of gold on the map. We can probably check it here. Yeah, there is 38k of gold on the map. but it's pretty concentrated, so you do need to get map control to get control of that gold. So that's something to keep in mind. And stone, yeah, you do have... Oh no, you do not have stone close to your base. Also, you do not have berries. So dropping a mill is going to be important. And some people might forget about the mill, especially when you have a generation like this, where you have the dock. Does Ray know about the... Oh, Ray hasn't even bothered scouting for the fish, okay. But he should know there's water in the middle. I remember looking at the map with him. Okay, yeah, he's dropping the dock now. So, as I was mentioning, you do not have berries. So, if you're doing a hybrid build, when you do not build a mill anyway, people might forget about that. Because generally speaking, on water, you skip the mill, and then you make it in feudal to go to your berries as your secondary food income. And then you naturally transition into farms. On this map, you have to skip the berries, and you're going to be building your dock just for farm's sake, which is unnatural. It feels unnatural for a player. So both players up. Ray slightly faster. That's what the Mongols will do for you, but he still has no fishing ship out. So he prioritized the hunt and getting more wood over getting the extra fish. And well, with Mongols, you can do that. You're going to get some extra food from your hunting anyway, and it gets in faster, so yeah, that's understandable. And speaking of civs, we've already talked about the Mongols. Oladushek in the yellow playing as the Japanese, who really want to get those fishing ships out as fast as possible because they work faster compared to other civs, and they have more HP and more armor, so they're very difficult to take down. And when you think about the nature of the map, right, when people are this close on water, you know, okay, Ray is going to win this. Yeah, he's going to win the scout fight because Oladushek is not up to fuel yet. That's good for Ray. Back to my point. When you're on a map like this, when you're this close, it's a fire galley map, right? Now the thing is, fire galleys are bad at killing the fishing ships to begin with. And if you're dealing with Japanese, it's even worse. And that could enable Oladushek to do something like using the fishing ships as a tank, right? For tanking, as a barrier to tank the fire from the fire galleys from Ray. Ray on 2 docks. Oladushek still on 1. I see no... Okay, oh no, never mind. Here's the second. And is he going to be switching into land units anytime soon? Doesn't look like that. Ray kind of out of gold. He doesn't have enough villagers on the gold to be producing from 2 dock constantly, I think. I think you would need about 5 for 2 dock fire galley production. He does have demos in the queue, which is going to be nice to equalize the fight. To be honest, the one who should be adding fires should be Oladushek. Right? Because he had less numbers. Okay, Ray should be winning this. Okay, there's a demo. Do not waste it. Yeah, if you send the demo in there, it can do some real damage. Yeah, but Oladushek now knows about the demos, so he is going to be careful. He is behind in numbers. A tower, okay. Okay, Ray, just send it in. Send them both in. Oh, okay, that's okay. That's not okay. And yeah, this demo is going to be... I mean, I guess... I think Ray was a little bit too conservative with his demos. this dock will get denied by the tower nonetheless. I think, yeah, the towers should go up faster than the dock. You now have fires. Yeah, you can take down the tower with the fires, I believe. No? Oh, Ray still has no loom. Okay. Yeah, he needs to stay away from the tower fire. Careful of the demo. And neither player is switching to land anytime soon. I mean, land military. Ray's being a little bit too wasteful of his demos. And he might lose the water fight here. So now both players are producing from 3 docks. Ray has... He has less fires, but he does have a demo, so he should still have a slight chance here. He needs to be... that's a bit wasteful. He probably just realized, oh, I had no berries, so... No, my meal was not there. Yeah, he's out of food. His only food income was the single fish ship he made. He's now going to have the mill to make the farms, but yeah, he caused the GG. Yeah, he's going to lose water. He's too late at making farms. And he is not switching to land anytime soon, so yeah. I mean, he is not dead, right? He still has some chances, but he knows those chances are like one in a million, so yeah, he just calls it. So Oladushek takes this to 0 in a pretty decisive way. I'm a little sad Ray was that conservative with those 2 demos, right? If he had used those, let's go back and see. When was it? Not here. Okay, yeah, it was later than on. Okay, here. He's got a demo. Okay, he's got 2. If he goes in, I mean, he knew there was a group of fires around there. Just go in. Just send in the demos. You try taking the fight. Because you know you're ahead in numbers, right? So, just try to use them. I mean, imagine 2 demos getting here. They can kill the villagers, they can kill the 3 fires. If Oladushek is not careful. So, yeah. I think he just needed to be more aggressive with the demos. And that would have changed a lot. One sec, I have to take care of that bot in chat. There we go. There we go. Sorry about that. Okay, so that was a pretty fast set. Let's take a look at the statistics and then we can jump into the draft for the next one. Yeah, Ray also had the good feudal time advantage, thanks to Mongols, of course. So, and he got to feudal with 2 docks, and he was making fires straight away. I think at one point he didn't have enough gold, and he probably got housed a couple of times. I mean, that basically boils down to him being rusty, I think. Those kind of mistakes. Or maybe just not having his mind in the game yet. Because yeah, look at that. He had the Army Eye. APM. Yeah, he goes up to 160. I don't know how he does that. But yeah. Anyway, that was our first set. Let me go back to the drafting table. Okay, so for our second set, we have Kingofn00b5 against Alexander. I believe I've already casted Kingofn00b5. I might be mistaken, but anyway, in this season, I know I casted him in the previous season. I do not remember if I've casted him in this one. Anyway, as you can see, he is a player from Italy, so a fellow Italian, and he is around 1700 as a highest and current 1600. So I would say he's probably around 1700 as his average elo. And let me take a look, because I believe, yeah, so I played him both this season and the previous one, and I remember in the previous season he was around 1500. There we go. So he has improved a lot in the past couple of months. Yeah, look at this. He was 1300 in December. We're in May, and he got to 1700. So the guy has potential. As for his opponent, he is Alexander from India. This is not his first time playing in the league. I believe he was not playing in the previous season. I know he played in other seasons, because I've played him as well. I think it was in season 3, maybe 2. But yeah, he's not new to the league, as many people are, right? Sometimes people will play in a season, then they cannot make it for the next one because they do not have the time, but then they show up for the one after that. So people come and go all the time. Sorry, not come and go. They come back all the time to the league. Yeah, Alexander, around 1600, a player from India. So this should be quite the balanced set. I would give Kingofn00b5 maybe a slight advantage, right? But yeah, this should be quite balanced. Now, speaking of the draft, we have Gugong as our map for game 1, which tells us this was played in round 2 of the league. And then for our second map, we're going to be having the one we had for game 1 in the previous set, so Lagoon Forest. As for civs, we have the usual 5 admin bans, which are randomized. You can see Dravidians, Persians, Poles, Saracens, and Malay. Kingofn00b5 went on to ban Byzantines and Dravidians, whereas Alexander banned Spanish and Bohemians. Kingofn00b5, after getting his Portuguese sniped, was left with Ethiopians and Aztecs, whereas Alexander was left with Teutons, Italians, and Romans after getting his Malians sniped. Okay, interesting draft. I'm not sure what Alexander is going to be playing on Lagoon Forest, and well, honestly, the same goes for Alexander. They do have nice arena civs, right? Aztecs, well, Georgians, you can play them anywhere, actually. So yeah, Aztecs, you do not see them that much lately on arena, but they used to be one of the top tier civs. I mean, they're still good for a monk siege rush. If Alexander goes Teutons, though, that's going to be a pain from Kingofn00b5, because Teutons, they do resist conversion. So we'll see. Let me load up the games real quick and we'll jump into those. So Kingofn. Capture it. Here we are. Okay, so Aztecs from Kingofn00b5 in the red and Teutons for Alexander in the yellow. So I believe this is going to be an uphill battle for Aztecs. The Teuton bonus, it basically shuts down any monk play you might be wanting to make. And as unit choices overall, I prefer Teutons. They have the infantry with more armor. They have paladins with more armor. They can go for monks themselves. They can go for good siege themselves. They have an insane eco with the discounted farms. So yeah, I'm curious to see what Kingofn00b5 is going to be doing. And he needs to do damage early on, because I believe the later the game goes, the better the Teutons become. Now, I would be curious to see how Teutons would be dealing with the new Jaguar Warrior, which was buffed. It now has more base attack. They basically reduced the bonus damage it had against infantry, and they gave it to the base attack. I think they reduced the bonus damage by 5, and they gave it 5 more base attack. So it is more of a generalist unit now. And I believe it is the infantry unit with the most base attack in the game. Now, I know Elite Teutonic Knights from the Teutons get to 17 base attack. I think if I'm not mistaken, the Jaguar Warrior now gets to 19 in his elite form. And then they get +1 attack for each enemy they've slain, up to +4. They have Garden Wars, giving them another +4 attack. So yeah, they can be quite an insane unit. Are they going to be enough to kill the Teuton Paladin? I'm not sure. So if Alexander can get to Paladin, that's going to be an issue for the Aztecs, because they do not get Halberdier. As you can see, they stop at Pikemen. So yeah, it's not easy to get to Teuton, to Paladin in 1v1, because of how costly it is. But maybe Alexander will be able to do it. I would also add it should not be easy on a map like this, right? Because yes, it's an arena style map, but you do not have as much space as you have on arena. So going for a big farming eco while keeping it safe is not going to be easy. Now, speaking of the map, I just said, well, it's basically an arena style map with a smaller base. You do have 2 wood lines in your base. There's wood on the outside. So now the trees in your base, they have 100 wood. The ones on the outside, right here in the middle, in these small groups, they have 150. Sorry, they have 200. And then the ones on the outside here, they have 300. So the farther you get from your base, the more wood they have, basically. Well, not really, because you could argue that this one is farther away from than this one from Kingofn00b5, but this one has less wood than this one. So yeah, no, it really depends on their distance. Let's say their position in relation to the Gaia walls and the players' walls. Let's just put it that way. So the more you get to the outside of the Gaia walls, the more wood they have. Let's put it that way. Anyway, we have a fast feudal from both players. Now, Teutons, yeah, he's on stone. Alexander is on stone. Teutons can pull off a good tower rush. So I'm curious. Is Kingofn00b5 going up to feudal faster because he expects a tower rush? And so he's thinking, well, if I go up to feudal, at the same timing of his, I have then the option to add army faster, and I can defend easier. I can more easily defend from his tower rush. So neither player made use of the hunt you had here in one of the squares. The gold and the stone, they come into play later on, but we've seen people make use of the hunt on the outside quite early on into the game. And actually, Kingofn00b5 had access to Georgians, so I'm surprised he didn't pick them here and just didn't go outside with the mule cart to get the hunt. So here's the villagers from Alexander. Tower is probably going to go up. Oh, here. Okay, that's good from Kingofn00b5. Alexander has no idea. Okay, he sees it now. But this is going to be easy for Kingofn00b5 to wall, right? You just stonewall this. And here. And you should be fine. Okay, he's opting for the towers instead. He is open behind that. So you do need to be careful. Okay, goes for the gate instead. So, normally you might want to go for a piece of wall. With Teutons, I can understand this, right? You are sending more vills, so you have... You send more vills compared to other civs because you have more garrison space in your towers. So I can see why he'd want to attack the gate. He's got more villagers. It's a bigger area, so you can actually make use of the villagers, whereas on the wall piece, unless you're doing the trick Red Phosphorus showed to the community a couple of months ago, you can only get 3 villagers. So yeah, and yeah, this is still open behind the house. Does Alexander realize that? No, he doesn't. Ooh, we have eagles from... Oh, sorry, I didn't notice that. So Kingofn00b5's making eagles. Okay. That's an interesting choice. Oh, look at this. Alexander is going to wall his opponent's walls. Just to make sure they not go back in. But, I mean... Kingofn00b5 could just, you know, delete a piece of wall. And now these villagers are trapped, actually. They cannot go here because of the tower. These eagles will take down the tower from Alexander. And then the new eagles could just, you know, kill the villagers. So good defense from Kingofn00b5, who should get Loom though. Especially as Aztecs, you start with extra gold, so you might as well get it. Yeah, loses a vill there. I don't think he realizes. I mean, sure, that tower will go up. And it's going to be able to keep this one up, but, I mean, Kingofn00b5 could just, you know, delete this piece of wall. Yeah, now he goes in. He's got 5 eagles. There's only 1 vill in 2 vills in the tower, so they shouldn't be able to deal that much damage. And Alexander is going to lose all of his vills here. There's a tower shooting as well. Great defense from Kingofn00b5. No, I think you can go to the tower. Yeah, just go to the tower. Yeah, good defense. It's an 11 vill advantage for Kingofn00b5, who is dropping farms like a madman. Alexander behind this, I mean, making use of the Teuton bonus, he's able to drop farms. That's good. But his pressure was made completely useless. Well, not completely useless, but I mean, yeah, you're going to deny this gold. Okay, fine. Kingofn00b5 still has this one, and he can make more units. And honestly, if you want to take down towers, you might as well just get Arson or go for man-at-arms in this situation. They're going to be better at killing vills, and killing towers compared to eagles. But yeah, at this point, Kingofn00b5 doesn't really need to worry too much. He's got a really eco behind this. His opponent, he doesn't have enough vills forward to be that dangerous. I mean, to be as dangerous as Teutons could be. Right? He's got 5 vills forward. So if he sends, let's say, 2 or 3 more, that's going to be basically 1/3 of his eco forward at 17 minutes in. And Kingofn00b5 knows that, right? He knows he killed what? 7 vills. And he knows he basically didn't lose any. I mean, he lost 2 to the towers here on the berries. But he should know that I'm ahead in vills. I'm not using my eco to fight. I'm just using it to get resources. So I'm going to be up faster. All things considered. He is making a lot of eagles still. Finally got Loom. He's going to get the attack upgrade even. Okay. I would personally go for the armor first. And with this amount of wood, just drop a market here. And balance your eco with that. Because eagles, yeah, they do not cost food, basically. They cost, what, 25 food, 50 gold. So they're not going to get in the way of your villagers' production. But they will hinder your castle age time because of the gold cost. Kingofn00b5's not attacking the repairing bill. Now he is, okay. Killing it, okay. And so we have 6 vills here for Alexander. Okay, there's the armor. Nice. 6 vills forward for Alexander, who is just getting a decent eco rolling. Also 3 minutes of idle TC. 13 seconds for Kingofn00b5. This has been a very good defense. Yeah, and now Kingofn00b5 could even let this tower go down if he wants to. It's fine. Making that piece of wall doesn't really make a difference. Yeah, Kingofn00b5 can just delete that and go out. Yeah, just kill the vills, ignore the tower. Sorry, I poured water all over myself. I'm sorry, 1 sec. Okay. And we have castle for both players. Kingofn00b5's actually slightly faster. Oh, he did have a market. Okay, I missed that. Sorry. And did he make use of it? Yeah, he did. Not as much as I expected. Kingofn00b5's still making eagles, as he should. He could then use them in Castle Age for map control. Yeah, and he's just keeping them in the barracks. That's a good play. Sorry. And Alexander is not giving up on the tower pressure. Okay, 15 seconds from Castle Age. The moment the Kingofn00b5 hits Castle, these eagles will get 3 more attack. Right? Yeah, there it is. So now they're going to be even better taking down the tower and the villagers. Just attack the vills. Attack the vills. Are we going to see the monastery? No, a second barracks, okay. Alexander, on the other hand, he's castle as well. He's got no military buildings, so he is going to lose map control. There's Arson for King of Noobs, that's nice. There's a monastery, so he's going to go for relics now that he has map control. Eagle Warrior coming in, that's going to give the Eagles a little more HP, but more importantly, more movement speed. And I believe it's going to affect the attack speed as well. So it's 2 and 0.8. Let's see when the upgrade comes in. Okay, attack speed says, hey, oh, they get 1 more pierce armor. Okay, so now King of Noobs has complete map control as Aztecs. He has complete access to the relics. And he can basically do whatever he wants. Ahead by 17 vills. He's going to soon have the wood for a second TC as well. Okay, he's opting for a second Lambocam. Yeah, that's fine. Still no second TC from Alexander, who dropped the monastery. I'm not sure why we're seeing pikes from King of Noobs. Maybe he's expecting scouts from his opponent to fight for the relics. And we have a defensive castle. Okay, this is a nice castle, and if he uses the market, he could go fast imp behind this. I'm not sure for what. Well, not fast imp, he could just go up to imp. It's a little bit too late to call it fast. I'm not sure why King of Noobs got Gambisons. They do not affect the Eagle Warriors, nor do they affect the Pikemen. They only affect the... Ooh. Alexander with the Sneaky Monk taking the relic, okay. So Gambisons only affects the Militia line, and for those civs who get that unit, the Fire Lancer. But again, out of all these civs getting Fire Lancers, I'm not sure that many of them get Gambisons. So Vietnamese, they do not. One of the new civs getting them, I forget if it's the Georgians or the Khitans, they get it, the other doesn't. But I mean, the other does not get Fire Lancers to begin with. Chinese, I think they do not get it. They do not get Gambisons. Koreans should get Gambisons. And we do have Imperial from Alexander. And honestly, you could argue it's not great to go Imperial here because you're on 33 vills. But you're against Aztecs, right? Let's say from this you can get into hand cannons and BBCs, like, right, early hand cannons and BBCs. Your opponent is investing into Castle Age units. He's not expanding his eco. He has a decent eco, right? But he's not making extra TCs or stuff like that. He's on 4 barracks actually, just making units. And all of his units, they will just die to the Teutonic Knights, the Kippy boys. I mean, look at that, 7 melee armor. And Eagles, they have 1 base attack. Sorry, they have 7 base attack and +1 at this moment, so they're dealing 1 damage to the Teutonic Knights. They're going to be dealing 2 with Iron Casting coming in. And now King of Noobs is going to be seeing Imperial. Yeah, he thinks he deletes that castle. That's clever. And he's going for a castle over here. So Is this going to be a Teutonic Knight trap play from Alexander? That could work for the time being, right? The moment Jaguar Warriors come out from the Aztec Castle, I think that's going to get shut down, because then Kingofn00b5 could just use the Eagles to snipe the traps, and the Jaguar Warriors to kill the Teutonic Knights. Kingofn00b5's up to Imperial himself. Maybe not needed, right? I guess he wants to have traps to take down the castle. But he could have delayed it a little bit, right? Monk is not going to work against the Teutonic Knights. Teutons, they do have a conversion resistance as a team bonus. And with the most recent patch, Teutonic Knights were made even better at resisting conversion. Right, as their base stat. So they have better conversion resistance on top of being more resistant to conversion thanks to the bonus. And we have Jaguar Warriors. We already have 9 of them. They could take down... I believe they could take down this amount of Teutonic Knights. These Veils will be able to auto-repair the castle. No. Do not go for the trap. Do not go for the trap. Just go for the Teutonic Knights. I mean, he took them down quite quickly. A second castle, yeah. Kingofn00b5 is going all in with this. As he should. Right. Jaguar Warriors are now his win condition. The only thing from Teutons he should be wary of is, as I mentioned, is Paladin and hand cannons. But he knows Alexander does not have the eco for the time being to do that, especially after he invested so much into the Teutonic Knights. So Jaguar Warriors, yes, they are the answer. Was about to get Blast Furnace, but then he thought about getting the armor first. That's a good thinking. Because at the moment, in the current matchup, Jaguar Warriors, they function basically kind of like camos, as in they are a counter unit. So most of the damage is going to be coming from the bonus damage. So you do not really need the extra attack from the blacksmith. You just need them to survive more. And look at that. Yeah, they're just going to kill the Teutonic Knights. I mean, the Teutonic Knights are killing we're focusing down the barracks to begin with, but yeah. Jaguar Warriors are also faster moving than Teutonic Knights. Ooh. Yeah, that's 13 Teutonic Knights dead and 2 Jaguar Warriors. Yeah, and as you can see, some of them got +1 attack thanks to the mechanic of the unit. Kingofn00b5 now making traps to get into his opponent's base. And honestly, yeah, 2, maybe 3 traps are going to be enough. And honestly, you just spammed Jaguar Warriors after that. Because with that amount of attack, you could easily take down buildings. Right, they have 15 attack, +2 from the blacksmith, and 4 bonus damage against buildings. So that's going to be very good. So Alexander repairing the gate. Oh, we have elite Jaguar Warrior. Okay. So now they have 19 attack. Honestly, he could take down the gate with the Jaguar Warriors if he wanted to. Yeah, he's just going to do that. Okay, there's hand cannons on the field, but it's 6 hand cannons against 30 and more Jaguar Warriors. Yeah, it's not going to work. And monks could convert the hand cannons. There are still 2 monks from Kingofn00b5. Do we have squires in? Yeah, we do, okay. Also, Teutonic Cavalry Archers. Love to see that. We have a 3rd castle down here for Kingofn00b5, just locking down that side. And sure, Alexander has this small eco left, but yeah. He's not going to be able to stop this. And just calls the GG. So Kingofn00b5's taking the first game. Nice! Nice, that was a good one. Yeah, moralic gold. How many did he get? 4 relics for the Aztecs. That's insane. He couldn't get all of them. Alexander got one. If he got all of them, he could have also started the countdown, because just a quick reminder that Alchemy League is played on standard victory condition. So you can win by wonders or by capturing all of the relics. And get with that countdown. So yeah, very nice. So, I know Alexander lost, but I like the way he played it. So, maybe he was a little bit too relentless with the tower rush. Right, at one point he should have probably just gave up on it. But, despite how much eco damage he took from his own tower rush, he read the situation properly. He went for Teutonic Knights, which he understood was his best option at the time. I know I was a little bit critic of the... I was criticizing the choice of going up to Imp at that timing. But yeah, all things considered, it was a good idea, because he knew his opponent was on Eagles. And what can Teutons do to kill the Eagles? Well, Teutonic Knights. Honestly, he could have just gone for Longswords instead. If he wanted to. It's a little bit easier on his eco, and maybe by the time he gets to Imp, he's got enough floating resources to get chemistry and add hand cannons to that. Still, I like it. He knew he was in a situation where he could justify Teutonic Knights. Just do it. I agree with that. Just have fun. So, let me load game 2. Oh, and Kingofn00b5's amazing defense from the tower rush. Good idea to go up to feudal that fast, just to be able to drop the barracks and make eagles as fast as possible to help with denying the second towers. So yeah, that was... I mean, the second tower got up, but he killed many villagers in the end. So yeah, very well played from Kingofn00b5. I guess this wasn't the first time he got trashed on an arena map. I mean, especially against Teutons, you might expect that. You could argue that Alexander didn't need to go for a tower rush. Save-wise, he had the advantage. But sure, you can... Teutons are amazing at playing tower rush, so that's fine. Just do it if you want to. Okay, so game 2, we have Ethiopians from Kingofn00b5 and Romans from Alexander. Okay. So I believe we've seen Romans before on this map. I remember it was Nope. Well, not Nope. It was a set where Nope was playing. I forget against who. Nope was Armenians and his opponent was Romans on Lagoon Forest. And that's the game where we got to see Nope cut through the trees to make space for his drones to sail into the different lakes and take down his opponent's buildings with those. That was an amazing set. If you have the chance, just go back and watch it. Twitch VODs are not saved for long, but I do upload everything to YouTube. You can find the link on my Twitch profile. And yeah, that was an amazing game. So, enough of that. Let's talk saves. So, Ethiopians, they can be pretty good on Black Forest, right? They do have halberdiers. They have an amazing siege, right? They have all of the siege options. Well, not the elephant, but that's because they get siege ram. And they have a unique technology, torsion engines, which gives them their siege more blast radius. And that makes everything they have amazing, especially the bomber cannons. Fighting against bomber cannons, against Ethiopian bomber cannons, it's atrocious to fight against those. Let me tell you that. I'd rather fight against Hufnitsa than Ethiopian bomber cannons, probably. And aside from that, Ethiopians could also go for Albaresters, right? It's probably not the best map to do that on, but they do have that option. Romans, on the other hand, they can have a very strong infantry play. They have amazing scorpions. They're very cheap, gold-wise. And if you get the unique tech, ballistas, they attack faster. I think it's 33%, something like that. So they're a pretty good save when it comes to, choke points. That said, scorpions, they do die to onagers. They do die to bomber cannons, which is something the Ethiopians do very well. Especially with the unique tech. A single shot from the siege onager or the bomber cannon is going to be able to flatten more scorpions than usual, and compared to other civs. Now, that said, Romans, as I mentioned, they have amazing infantry. They do have a unique upgrade for the militia line, right? They get the legionary, which is basically a champion which is slightly less of a generalist, but it's better at killing infantry. So legionaries, they have less attack than a champion, but they do have a bonus damage against infantry. So they win against generic champions. I actually forget if there are any champions which win against legionnaires. Maybe Japanese, but I might be mistaken. Armenians could be winning because of the extra HP. But yeah, overall they have very strong legionnaires. And they also have a bonus which makes it so that their infantry armor upgrades, they have double the effect. So as you can see, they lack the last armor upgrade to balance that out. So in Imperial, they end up having the same pierce armor as other infantry with, full upgrades. But they do have +1 melee armor compared to generic infantry. So they're still slightly better in Imperial, and they are way better in Castle Age and Feudal Age when you get the upgrades. And yeah, we have a barracks, we have feudal coming in, we have 2 militia in the queue for Alexander. So I believe this is going to be a militia rush, maybe followed by some towers. Kingofn00b5 probably expected that, and so he's going for militia himself as an opening. And that's good thinking, because yes, Romans, they get double the effects of the blacksmith armor, but until you get there, their infantry is basically the same as yours. We also have no man-at-arm upgrade because Alexander has no gold for that. King of Noobs will have the gold. There we go, man-at-arms. Being Ethiopians, the moment he gets to Feudal Age, he gets 100 food and 100 gold, which helps a lot with this. As you can see, he just clicked man-at-arms the moment he got up. You do not want to take the fight now. What? And that was kind of a waste. I mean, he lost the scout. He's going to win now, but he lost too much HP for nothing. I should have waited a couple of seconds. I mean, he now has archers out, so that's fine.
Salve.
Do we have a blacksmith yet from him? No. I mean, he prioritized the eco upgrades, that's fine. Okay, now he should lose the fight. Or not? Okay, no. Okay. Yeah, he focused the right units and he won that fight. Okay, nice. So better opening for King of Noobs. Alexander already moving to farms. No horse collar. I would have liked to see horse collar. We do have a blacksmith from King of Noobs, so judging by the rest, he's going to be able to get fletching right away. There it is. He's already going forward with the archers. Alexander opting for archers himself instead of going for skirm defense. He doesn't have a blacksmith, so he's going to get outranged. He's got more... I mean, numbers are the same. Actually, more for King of Noobs. But King of Noobs units are separated from each other, whereas Alexander is keeping them together. But yeah, he's going to be behind in upgrades. He's not... He's going to be behind in unit quality, if you will, because Ethiopians, they have faster shooting archers. So he should be able to kill this. If he micros. Okay. One down. Yeah. Good fight for King of Noobs. And now he can just go forward. And we do have a palisade gate from Alexander, so that's going to go down quite quickly to the Ethiopian archers. Single archer range production. King of Noobs. Yeah, he dropped the farms. He has horse collar. That's good. Okay, he's going to try and get into his opponent's base. So he's just going to ignore the palisade. And he's probably thinking, well, I don't know if he actually closed this. So let's go there just in case. And yeah, he should be able to get in. Alexander has already fled from here with the villagers. He has skirmishers with fletching. King of Noobs could actually add a couple of men-at-arms himself just to kill the skirms. Wouldn't be the worst. I mean, he's feeling brave and he's going to try and take this, but no. You need to flee. Run. You're going to get damage for nothing, yeah. Loses one archer. And now all of his archers are, basically all of them are weakened. Yeah, there's another archer going down. Yeah, do not try to micro this, just run away. So King of Noobs either needs to add skirmishers. himself. Or maybe scouts could work as well. Doesn't really have the wood for a stable, so maybe not scouts for the time being.
Tibi Serbio.
I mean, this Minotaur might be able to kill a couple of skirms before going down. They are as fast as the skirmishers. Crocodile.
Impera.
And the jaguar. Actually, the crocodile and the jaguar are helping Alexander because they're getting in the way of the man-at-arm. So they allowed him to shoot it down.
Salve.
He's going to have to be careful about the okay, the crocodile and the jaguar will kill a skirmisher. And yeah, he splits the group.
Tibi Serbio. Salve.
Sorry, I'm watching this, but I like it. It's so silly. Oh, he's just going to go forward with the skirmisher. Maybe he's sending the wildlife to Kingofn00b5. Anyway, both players are up to Castle Age. They're both walled. Actually, Kingofn00b5 is still open here. They have the same amount of villagers. And same upgrades, okay. Eco check, 20 farms against 17, but Roman villagers, they work 5% faster. So overall, this should be a better eco for Alexander. And that shows in the amount of resources collected. 600 ahead for Alexander. That's mostly due to the bonus. Okay, second archery range for Kingofn00b5. Who is going to be making even more archers. And he's probably going into crossbows. Okay, eco-wise, Alexander has a lot of wood, so we'll probably be seeing extra TCs from him. He could also go for a couple of siege workshops, sorry, and just make scorpions. And I know I said in the long run, or rather eventually the Ethiopian siege is going to be better, but that's an imp after you get a unique tech and after you get all of the upgrades. So Alexander does have, yeah, there it is. He does have a window now to do some damage and to go crazy with the scorpion spam. And honestly, yeah, you can just do that on a 3 TC boom. Honestly, he could go for a second siege workshop. I wouldn't mind that. Maybe he's going to keep some wood to drop extra farms around the TCs. That would make sense, actually. He might actually also want to go for ballistics, just to make his scorpions even better. And Alexander, Kingofn00b5's kind of expecting the scorpions, or maybe as an answer to the skirmishers, he is going for mangonels, which is nice, especially with the Ethiopians. With Ethiopian archers. University, okay. So there's going to be ballistics. He does have the resources for that, so good balance. He's able to afford a second TC, a university, a workshop, a mangonel, and ballistics. And double range protection. So very good balance there. Alexander, on the other hand, he's going to be ahead in villagers because he's on 3 TCs compared to 2 from his opponent. And his villagers, again, they work faster, so... Okay, there's ballistics for Kingofn00b5. takes some shots from the Scorpions, which is not ideal, but now the Mangonel is going to be able to defend the crossbows. Yeah, Kingofn00b5 might want to send a villager forward just to, you know, repair the Mangonel. Yeah, there it is. Scorpions might get flattened by the Mangonel as they try to go out. Okay, never mind. Alexander is... Okay, one Scorpion down. That's actually the second, if I'm not mistaken. A Mangonel from Alexander, so we might be seeing some Mangonel micro here. Does Kingofn00b5... Okay, now he sees the Mangonels. Mangonel, sorry. He needs to be careful. One crossbow goes down. And, I mean, there's... Yeah, the pathing can sometimes be a little bit silly. So this villager will go down. And of course, the moment she gets hit by a Scorpion Bolt, she goes towards the Scorpion and then the other way around. Ooh, nice. Okay, we have a monastery for Kingofn00b5. I do not think... Yeah, they do not get redemption. Wow. Ethiopians actually got... Yeah, they got pretty shafted by the monastery. They did not get... They get everything except for block printing and redemption, which are some of the most important texts for monks. So I'm not sure why we're making monks at the moment. And we have Imperial, by the way, for Alexander. He is on a good eco. He is idling a little bit. And for the time being, he could drop a castle actually with that amount of stone. Castle here, you stop the pressure. Your opponent will have to go this way, but you know, there's a good one. A castle there, okay. Kingofn00b5 is going to get caught by surprise by the uptime by his opponent. Actually, now that I think about it, Alexander was pretty fast to Imperial in game 1 as well. And I wonder if that will force Kingofn00b5's hand and he will just try to go up to Imperial himself with his current eco. And I mean, he's on archers, it wouldn't be the end of the world, right? If he idles, he can easily get to Imp, I think. He's going to need more farms, but still. Okay, so we have Imp into what? Into Centurions, okay. Centurions with no upgrades whatsoever. Centurions and Scorpions, I like the choice of the Battle Ram choice. You do need to protect it with archers though. And now it's Ethiopians crossbows with Thumbring. Alexander needs to make something happen with his Imperial. To be fair, if he deletes this house, maybe chops that tree. Even without chopping the tree, you can drop a castle here, and that keeps your eco safe and gives you time to switch into what you need. Okay, we have Imperial from Kingofn00b5 as well. Okay, these Centurions will be able to take down the Ram and the Mangonel because the crossbows are not defending. Ooh, actually. Yeah. Yeah, they will die to the crossbows. Kingofn00b5 has kind of stopped making crossbows, which is a slight mistake. Yeah, and now the Scorpion numbers, they're starting to get quite scary. We do have ballistics in. And so, is this going to be a Scorpion Centurion push from Alexander? He is behind in eco, despite having the more efficient one. He is ahead in resources collected, which is crazy. Well, still no wheelbarrow for Kingofn00b5, so... And feudal upgrades... Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Even when you consider the... I mean, even without the woman bonus, it would make sense. Ooh, okay. That Mangonel killed 4 Scorpions. So, it got value. The converted Centurion is going to kill another one. Not a second one, because he was about to run into the castle range. And now what you need as Kingofn00b5 is chemistry. As fast as possible. Chemistry. Maybe a forward siege workshop instead of... Yeah, okay, you got that, so that's fine. Chemistry, bracer, and you push with crossbows, eventually arbalesters, and BBC. Alexander getting chemistry himself. Okay, that's the upgrades. Another TC back here for Alexander. Heavy Scorpion, okay. Wait, did he get the unique attack? He did, so yeah. These Scorpions will be attacking faster. But there's about to be bombard cannons coming out from this siege workshop and eventually this one when it goes up. Okay, chemistry is in. Make a BBC right away. Yeah, there we go. And if Kingofn00b5 is cheeky, he could maybe drop a castle here with a couple of vills. And eventually you make shuttles, you break through here quite quickly, and you just run into your opponent's base. And you make damage as he is busy with his Scorpions forward. But yeah, you cannot take heavy Scorpions with crossbows. Maybe if they were arbalesters, then maybe, yeah, but not with crossbows. Because now you're dealing 1 damage. At least, yeah, at least the arbalester would be dealing 2. Which is not a lot, but it's still, you know, double the amount of damage you're doing now. But yeah, now there's BBCs. Okay, didn't notice this. So Kingofn00b5, he cut through the wood line, and he's now getting the extra resources. So going both for the oysters, and there's a fishing ship as well. Oh, it's getting created, okay. So yeah, no, he's just going for oysters. And they should be called oystering ships. I know they are in the game, and I'm not sure why they're not in Capture Age. Anyway. 2 bomber cannons for Kingofn00b5. Third one in the queue. Arbalester coming in. Okay, this is a decent amount of Centurions. They should be able to take... Might be able to take down the crossbows. He's not focusing fire. Go back with the... Yeah. Okay, so Alexander buying himself some time. The monk doing his work. This bomber cannon will go down. After barely killing... Well, almost killing a scorpion. I mean, these 2 scorpions are quite weak. Okay, castle here from Kingofn00b5. If this one goes up, he secures this area, so his opponent cannot push with scorpions. Yeah, actually, forget the shuttles. Just make 2 stables and go Hussar. You do get Hussar as Ethiopians, as silly as that sounds. Just go for raids. You're going to need more eco for that. Oh, he's actually getting the cavalry armor upgrade, so maybe he's thinking about that. Yeah, they're stables. Alexander has an amazing amount of resources. He's just sitting on them. He could honestly go for elite Centurion here, and that would be pretty strong. Oh yeah, he's queuing up Centurions. I mean, he has enough stone to make like 4 more castles, I think. 4 no, not 4. 3. So 1 here, maybe. Ooh, he didn't notice this. Okay, these arbalesters are just going to do some work. He didn't notice this. Okay, now he does. Wait, are we going to see camels instead? Is that what he's thinking? No, right? Okay, yeah, no, it's light cap. Okay, perfect. And this is getting scary. It's now 15 scorpions. They cannot get past the castle. But he does have traps. And... I mean, Kingofn00b5 could just take down the traps with the bomber cannon, right? Probably will have to get here. So the scorpions could be able to take it down from there. Okay, second castle to secure this area. Double siege workshop, I like that. Okay, Alexander should now know about the light cav, which was trying to come in from this side, but honestly, this is wide open. Ooh, okay. Go. Go. Should be able to take down at least 1 trap. And there's bomber cannons behind, so the scorpions need to be careful. There it is, we have elite Centurion with full armor. I mean, they're not even elite yet and they have the same pierce armor as a paladin. They are missing bloodlines, which is not ideal. Castle going up might be able to take down the scorpions. Hold on. Okay, never mind. Too late. Legionnaires coming in for Alexander. Kingofn00b5, he is not... I mean, he's got a decent number of villagers, but he's not expanding his eco in the right way. He could take these 23 bills and put them on gold. Just send, I don't know, 12 villas here and 12 here. He doesn't have that much gold at the moment. Alexander just sitting on an amazing amount of resources. Now, the thing is, he keeps banking, he keeps getting upgrades, he's not making anything else, which surprises me. Okay, those two scorpions go down. Hussar coming in for Kingofn00b5, okay. Still no torsion engines, so these... Good thinking, deleting the mining camp. So these scorpions are just going to be standard for the time being. Ooh, nice. Sneaky stables. And honestly, yeah, Alexander rewalled this with house. There's a weak palisade there. Just 6 hussars I think can fit around that one. And they're going to be able to break through quite quickly. Hey Tech, welcome, welcome. Oh, don't be sorry, it's fine. It is fine. This is just the second set where I think we're almost... I was about to say we're almost done with this one, but... But no, these two players, they still have access to resources. And they still have some fight in them, so I think this is going to be a pretty long one. And I mean, after this one, we still have another set to cast, so really don't worry about it. Okay, nice arbalesters for Kingofn00b5 taking down the Centurion. Kingofn00b5 is maybe a little bit overboomed. As you can see, he was basically housed a moment ago. If you're going Arbalester, you do not need this amount of villagers. 130, maybe 120 is fine. Ray against Oladushek was a little less chaotic than I expected. Game 1 was definitely quite chaotic, especially with the aggression from Oladushek. Game 2 was pretty much standard, I would say. Okay, this castle from Kingofn00b5 goes down. He's able to kill the scorpions though, so that's not the end of the world. And now he could just roll forward with the arbalesters. He is raiding with the hussars. Oh, he actually took down the house instead of the palisades as I suggested. And he's now switching into heavy camel rider. I'm not a fan of that. So Ethiopian camels, they can get better if you get the Royal Hare's unique tech, which basically makes them and the Shoulder Warriors receive 3 less damage from cavalry units. And the insane part about that is that it also applies to cavalry archers and units which count as cavalry archers. So, for example, war wagons. So the next time you're Ethiopians and you're up against war wagons, the answer is shuttles. They're actually insane against the war wagons once you get the tech. But yeah, Ethiopian camels, even with that unique tech, they're not that great. And yeah, Kingofn00b5 here is having a slight issue of no space, no pop space. And I know you want to go for hustle rates now, so you do need that amount of villagers on farms, but you do not need that amount of villagers on wood, especially now that you're getting bow saw. You could also get the two-man saw as well. Just delete, I don't know, 20, 30 villagers on wood, and you're fine. You suddenly have enough pop space to roll through your opponent's base. And okay, Kingofn00b5 coming forward. The Arbalesters will take down the Scorpions, which were not patrolling, they were just going forward. He might be able to take down the castle now with the bomber cannons. It is uphill. Do we have masonry? No, we do not. Bomber cannons will go down to the Centurions. The Scorpions behind will take care of the crossbows. Nice surround by by Alexander. And now Kingofn00b5 is fully on camels, which I do not like. I mean, if you're struggling against the Scorpions and the Centurions, instead of camels, I would have liked to see halberdiers. So Centurions, compared to Paladin, they have 5 less HP. I mean, you see 155, but he is missing bloodlines. But they do have 1 more melee armor and 1 more attack. So overall, they are a better version of the Paladin. They are more costly. I think they're 85 gold instead of 75. But yeah, stat-wise, they're better, and they also give your infantry... You know, they also have that area around them, giving their infantry more attack speed and movement speed. But yeah, I think if Kingofn00b5 had gone halberdiers and, I don't know, onager instead of arbalesters, he would have been in a better spot. Because then, yeah, the halberdiers, they die to the Scorpions. But I guess it's easier to snipe Scorpions with onagers than it is with bomber cannons. Okay, camels are working out because the Scorpions have no minimum. They have minimum range, and there is no Centurions helping them. And ooh, this is juicy. This is juicy. I mean, that's going to be 3 traps for free. And Alexander, he's got good resources, but not gold. At one point he was sitting on 2k gold, but now he's got none. He's getting some from here. But aside from that, I think he has no gold access left. He could go for this, but Kingofn00b5 just keeps raiding him. So it's not safe to go out there. And how much is that? 1k gold. And as I said, these Centurions are quite expensive. Yeah, he's now getting guilds. He sold a lot of food. Okay, Kingofn00b5, what's his situation like for gold? Does he see that? Okay, he doesn't see that, which is sad. He doesn't see that. So he's actually out of gold himself. And as you can see, he sold a lot. And now we have legionnaires for Alexander. Those things will kill the camels quite handily. They do not cost as much gold as the Centurions, so with his current gold situation, they're going to be easier to keep up with production. Comitatenses coming in. That's going to give a charge attack to the Legionnaires and the Centurions and the Nightline. It's a +5 charge attack, and they also will be creating, I think, 50% faster. Yeah, King of Noobs was oystering here. There were some oysters here and they took them. You could maybe drop another dock here and go for them on this side. He is making fishing ships somewhere. I do not see where though. Yeah, but look at that. 12 Centurions in queue, 21 on the field. Yeah, King of Noobs needs to get some gold access. I mean, he should know there's extra gold. And as Ethiopians, you have your outposts with more line of sight and they cost no stone. So just go around, drop a couple of them to see what the map looks like. Okay, Alexander getting that gold, so he's going to have access for a while. And I think the way things are going, King of Noobs is basically going to get starved with resources. Starved of resources, sorry. He could go for this one. Of course, he doesn't know about it, but... It keeps saying... Oh, okay, he was taking this. Okay, fine. So, oystering is fine. The issue is... Oysters, they have less gold than a common gold mine. Yeah, and King of Noobs calls the GG. He is out of resources. Look at the resources from Alexander. That's insane. And yeah. So, yeah. Set ends 1-1. Well played to Alexander. He basically held out until his opponent was out of resources and took the win because of that. Yeah, resources collected, it's quite similar, which is insane considering we had Romans on the field. Yeah, that's because, well, King of Noobs had more villagers. I think he deleted some of them by the end. Let me check. Yeah, I could have deleted a little bit more to have more pop space. But yeah, again, I think... So, King of Noobs, he opened crossbows mangonels in Castleways, right? And then he went into crossbow BBC. That's kind of fine, but the moment you see your opponent is investing so much into Centurions, I think you slowly transition into Halb Onager. Because again, yeah, Halberdiers, they die easily to the Scorpions, but they're trash units. You don't really care if you lose a lot of them. And again, it's easier to flatten the Scorpions with the Onagers than it is with the Bomber Cannons. I know Bomber Cannons, they have more range, but at the same time, Onagers, their area of damage is more spread out, so it's harder for the Scorpions to dodge that. So I think if King of Noobs had gone for that one, he could have probably won. Not to mention that then you have the opportunity to cut down the trees. That creates less choke points on the map, which is going to make it worse for the Scorpions. But yeah. Anyway, well played to both of them. So before we jump into the next set, I'm going to take a 5-minute break, something like that. And then we'll jump into the third set. So I'll be right back. See you later. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. Alright, so let's jump into the next one. Okay, so this is gone. Okay, so for our last set for today, we have the Otter one against Ragnar. So the Otter one, he's basically a veteran of the league at this point. I think he's played in every season except the second. 1700 player from Germany. If you follow the deathmatch scene, you might know him because he's quite active there. He also casts and hosts some tournaments. And as for his opponent, Ragnar, he has already played a couple of seasons in the league. Player from Colombia, who is around 1600. And I believe these two players have faced each other in the previous season as well. So we'll see this time who is going to be the better one. So this set was played in round 1, as we could tell by Ragnar being the first map. And I thought I had casted all of the sets from, or rather, I thought I had finished casting all of the sets from round 1, but apparently no, I missed a couple. So we'll be doing this one, and then for our second map, we're going to be having Gugong. Now, as for the Civ draft, we have the 5 admin bans randomized, so Bohemians, Poles, Huns, Lithuanians, and Burgundians. Seeing how there's Gugong, which is an arena-style map, I think both players were kind of happy about seeing Bohemians and Burgundians gone by the randomizer. Otter 1 went on to ban Turks and Spanish. We've seen Spanish being played by the higher elo players on Ragnar, so I can see why he'd want to ban those. And then Ragnar went on to ban Georgians and Portuguese. Otter was left with Italians, Malay, and Armenians after getting his Saracens sniped. And Ragnar was left with Persians, Bengalis, and Byzantines after getting his Khmer pick sniped. And honestly, I'm a little surprised to see Otter sniping Khmer instead of Persians. I mean, that said, they're not hybrid maps, so maybe Khmer can be more dangerous than Persians. But we'll see. So let me load up the game real quick, and we'll jump into it. Okay, here we are. So for our first game, it's going to be Otter in the yellow, playing as the Armenians, and Ragnar in the red, playing as the Persians. I have no idea why Otter went Armenians on this. It's kind of an interesting pick in my opinion, but we'll see what he has in store for us. And I say I'm surprised because this is quite the open map, right? And Armenians, they do not really strike me as the kind of mobile Civ compared to Persians. I mean, Armenians can still play a decent knight, knights in Castle Age. But in the long run, they do not want to rely on cavalry too much because they're missing scale barding armor. Ragnar as the Persians, he's going to be able to do pretty much anything except for infantry. He's got a very cozy woodland here. I believe there might be a hole between the house. Yeah, because the house was thanks to that single tree, which is getting cut by the villager, but this is open. And it will be open on this side as well, as soon as that villager is done. Okay, we'll have to ask Otter what he is feeding his sheep. Because that's not normal. Oh well, anyway. How do these two civs fare against each other? So, eventually Armenians want to focus on infantry. They do get champions with extra HP. Thanks to the... Okay, thanks to the unique tech. They get 30 extra HP on their champions and on their second unique unit, which is the warrior priest, which doubles as an infantry unit and a monk. Persians, on the other hand, they focus more on cavalry. But they also do have access to gunpowder units, especially hand cannons, which might be an issue for the Armenians. Armenians, they do get Onager, but with no siege engineers, so they kind of tend to struggle against hand cannons. They can go for skirmishers eventually, and they do get a very good unique unit in the... Well, very good, it's probably overselling it, but they do get a good unique unit in the composite bowman, which is going to be ignoring armor. Okay, so Otter knows about the tower thing. Yeah, I was actually thinking that you can garrison the mule carts into the towers. So I wonder if you could maybe drop the mule cart here and then garrison it into the tower and drop it off on the other side. You don't really need to do that, right? Because you just hop in, build it on the other side, and you have the same end result. But I think you could do that. Going back to the unique unit by the Armenians. So it's a good archer, which ignores the enemy armor. It does have 1 less range compared to arbalesters. So it's going to have 4. Which against hand cannons, it's still fine. Because hand cannons, they get 7 range. So you do end up having the same range as the hand cannon. So at least you're not outranging, but you do not get outranged yourself. And compared to Arbalester, it should be doing decently against the Nightline. That said, Persians, they do get more attack on their knights against archers because of the team bonus. And they do get a unique upgrade to their Nightline. So instead of Paladin, they get Savar, which in itself has extra attack against archers on top of the Persian bonus. So I would like to see how those two units interact, because I think Savar still wins that because of the large HP pool and the bonuses at play. But I don't know. But we don't know. Maybe the composite bowman could surprise us. Okay, so Ragnar not going for the gold. Defend it by the walls. He's going for the one in the back of his base, and he's just going to make walls of his own. And I believe he might be going for a fast castle build. Yeah, we now have the market. We'll probably see the blacksmith any moment now. Yeah, there it is. He's going to make it as part of his wall. And Otter is going archers, which normally could work on this map. Because yes, your villagers are safe within the walls because of they cannot be sniped by scouts, but archers can still snipe, attack them from the outside. They can still take control of the towers and hop in and be annoying. So yeah, archers are a better choice in this situation compared to potentially the scouts. But Ragnar, he's up to castle. He will be dropping farms, I suppose. Okay, he's making a barracks, so he's probably going to be opening knights in castles, but his eco is going to be quite unbalanced. I don't think he's going to be able to produce knights as soon as he gets to castle, unless he idles his TC. Because he's just now going back to food. And being Persians, he's going to be up to castle faster, so... Archery range, okay. Okay, so... Okay, no, okay, he goes back to the stable. I was about to say that Persians do get Parthian tactics in Castle Age. So the cavalry archers in Castle Age can be very tanky. That's kind of balanced out by the fact they do not get bracers. So in Imperial Age, your cav archers are kind of useless. I mean, not useless, but they do have less range and less attack compared to standard ones. And I thought that due to how low eco he was, food-wise, he might have gone into CA instead of knights, but no. Nope, nope, nope. And actually, where are Otter's archers? Okay, they're going all the way around here. Otter is going to know about this wall. Yep, he sees it. He knows his opponent is taking gold back there. And he's going to be unable to do anything about it for the time being. Now imagine if he had gone straight through the middle with the archers instead of going all the way around here. He could have maybe denied this DC because he saw that thanks to the tower. And he's not going to be able to get through this wall, right? Because these are fortified palisades. So they have more HP and I guess more armor than standard palisades. Okay, so Ragnar does not know about the fact that you can hop into the towers. And he's just going to try and take down the walls with the knights. When... he could just go forward with the knights and maybe do some damage to his opponent. Otter up to castle himself. Nice eco. So Armenians, they get crazy eco, right? They can... basically, their lumber camp and mining camp technologies, they are 20% stronger compared to other civs. So the fact that they do not have the best unit choice, as you know, the longer the game goes, is kind of is kind of balanced by the fact that you have a crazy eco. Probably one of the best in the game. I wouldn't say it's better than Persians, but it's up there. And Otter will probably be dropping extra TCs at this point. Yeah. Oh, fortified church, okay. And it's in the back. So here's the catch about this map. As you can see, there are no naturally spawning relics. The only ones you can get are by destroying the wonders in the middle. Now Otter, being Armenians, he has access to a very, very good monastery. In fact, they have full monastery, tech tree. And as I mentioned, they do have access to the warrior priest, which is a unique unit, which doubles as a monk and as a infantry unit. So it attacks like an infantry unit. It cannot convert, but it can heal like a monk. And actually, I was talking about the unique unit, Ferreters. It does increase the HP of the Warrior Priest and the Militia line, but it also increases the rate at which the Warrior Priest heals units. Of course, that's going to come into play way later on compared to now, but...
Yes.
Okay, so Ragnar going for a forward siege workshop. He is going to try and get some pressure on his opponent. But we do have monks for Otter, which might be able to convert the knights. We have rams for Ragnar, which is a curious choice to me, considering he knows about the mangonel. So maybe going for mangonels of your own could have been better. And Otter, he is just walling up. Wait, does he know about the... Okay, now he knows about the ram. He probably saw it as soon as it got out of the siege workshop, and that's why he's walling like this. But he's going to be fine, right? This mangonel will take care of the rams. So Otter is not showing his monks. Also, by the way, new patch, so new skins for the monks. This is the Orthodox skin, which looks pretty good. I don't know how accurate it is. I don't think I know any Orthodox at all, so I wouldn't know who to ask. But it does look nice. Okay, no, there's no hole behind that. Same here. Wait. I just noticed. Oh, wait, so Armenians, they get... Sorry, I didn't notice because the countdown is in the corner of the screen, and the way I have my mic, it was covering that. So yeah, apparently just getting a single relic thanks to the Armenian bonus gives you a countdown. Okay. No, that's not the Mediterranean. The Mediterranean skin is the one they gave to the Italians, the Portuguese, and the Spanish. The one with the hat. I think this is the same skin they gave to, for example, Slavs and Bulgarians and whatnot, and it's supposed to be the Orthodox one. I'll check after the game, but I think that's the one. Yeah, Tech, I will agree this is kind of an issue. The fact that you can get the relic victory with just one relic and the Armenian bonus. I mean, it would be an issue if you could get relic victory with a single relic from the wonders. Even that would be an issue. And this is even worse, because this is too easy to get to, right? You just get to castle, you drop a monastery, and you can get it. That said, I believe we would have to test it, right? So the question here is, if Ragnar takes one of these relics, does the countdown stop? Or even if one relic gets created by the wonder, does the countdown stop? That's my question. We would have to test that, because if it does, then maybe this is not as bad as it looks. It's still silly, but it would be easier to to address. Because getting the countdown as soon as you get to castle, your opponent doesn't really have the tools at that point of the game to really break through your base, especially if you're going for heavy stone walls like this. But if spawning a single relic from here worked, then honestly Ragnar has the middle. You make a couple of rams, you destroy the wonder, and suddenly your opponent has invested into a strat which you countered quite easily, so not easily, but in an easier way than breaking through his base and taking down his buildings, let's say. With all that said, though, I do appreciate that Otter thought of that, right? He just thought, wait, what if I just get a single Armenian relic? He probably tried that and saw it worked, and he's been using it. Okay, so Ragnar is going to try and take down the monuments, the wonders. Let's see if it works. It's a little bit too late to take down Otter's monastery. I mean, even if Ragnar was already an imp and already had this castle up, he would have to go to get through these walls, and I think the trap would have to be around here to take down the... maybe here to take down the monastery, which is not ideal. Yeah, I don't know if he was thinking about taking down the monument and the wonder and taking the relic. I think he just had his knights over there and just clicked and they were attacking the wonder. So this castle from Otter is going to go up. It will get taken down by the traps, by Ragnar, but I believe it's still too late. And the fact that Ragnar is going to lose time to take down this castle is great for Otter, because then it is going to take, what, 1, maybe 2 minutes to take down this castle, and that buys Otter all of that time, which is going to be enough to get to the victory. Yeah, this castle actually might stay up before the countdown finishes. The trap also has the heal disadvantage. Otter is an Imperial. He could even repair this, honestly. The castle range doesn't get to the other side, so a couple of builds there could repair it. They couldn't out-repair the trap damage, but they could repair it for long enough to get to the victory. And Otter is going to be winning this. Okay. That was interesting, to say the least. Otter playing the map and knowing what to do. Playing the map and the save, to be honest. So, yeah. Yeah, and behind this, Ragnar's eco is not the best. Maybe if instead of going to up to imp, he had made a push with the rams and some infantry. I know Persians, their infantry doesn't scale, right? But it's better than nothing. Yeah, they get long swordsmen at best. So I don't know, maybe that could have worked. But yeah, it was going to be an uphill battle anyway. Yeah, that rule could work. The thing is, we also had the previous version of the map where having those 3 relics kind of messed with the countdown when you consider the one spawned by the wanderers. So unless the map creators can find a way to work around that, yeah, you either put the rule that you put the rule that you need to have at least 3 relics, but then you have to also make the rule that you cannot have buildings or units spawning relics, if that's going to be messing with the countdown. Oh, okay. Okay, so let's move on to the next game. Actually, let me give the point to Otter before we do that. So game 2 is going to be on Gugong. Okay. Okay, so we have a pretty close spawn from both players, and we have Malay from Otter and Bengalis from Ragnar. Okay, so both of these saves, amazing on Arena. Malay, they do have probably a little bit more options compared to Bengalis. You can go for a fast feudal boom. You can go for... You can pull off a decent siege monk push, right? I mean, you're missing fervor and theocracy, which is not ideal, but it's you still have redemption, you have atonement, you have sanctity, you eventually have block printing, so they can still play monks with their siege. You can go for a tower rush. You can go for a boom into BBC and halberdiers in true arena fashion. You can do a lot as Malay. And that said, Bengalis, they might have less options, if you will, but the options they have are amazing. They have one of the strongest monk siege push in the game because of their monks having extra armor. They have an amazing eco because the moment they get to the next stage, their TC automatically spawns to villagers. And they have a very strong late game unit. They might be missing bomber cannons, but they do have siege elephants with siege engineers, and they do have the elephant archer, which is one of the tankiest and strongest units in the game. And also as a sieve bonus, their elephant archers, and well, elephants in general, they get less bonus damage from units such as spikes and skirmishers, and they are harder to convert. They also have a unique tech story, which makes their unique unit and their elephants attack faster. And they do have a very strong unique unit as well, which would be the Rata, which you usually see on... You mostly see on Phosphorus rushes on Arabia, but you could probably make it work on Arena as well. Okay, Otter is going for the boars, at least a boar, getting Loom. He knows his opponent's scout is over there. Okay, no. The scout is going back because he doesn't see that. So is Otter going for multiple boars? There's one, there's two. Okay, block with the scout. Okay, yeah, Otter is going for 2 boars. Okay, I like this. And Otter and I actually talked about this. I think we had a practice set before his set against AOE5, if I'm not mistaken. And I did this against him, right? And then we talked about it. I think I actually got 4 or maybe 3 boars. It really depends. Oh, that's sad. Yeah, you need to keep the gate open with the scout. I mean, this is still an extra boar, right? So it's fine. But yeah, I believe it's quite easy to go out and grab extra boars. If you know what you're doing. You might have to try it a couple of times, especially with the scout blocking. But honestly, the moment you get 4 boars following you, you don't really need to block that much with the scout because the boars are just going to, you know, get in each other's way. And so they will actually not be able to hit your villager as much as you might think. And the nice thing is, you do not, once you get like 4 boars to your TC, you do not need to do what you do on Black Forest, which is you kill them and you let them rot, and then you eventually take them. You can just take them one at a time because they de-aggro and they try to go back, but then there's the walls, so they cannot go outside your base, and you just pull them to your TCs eventually. So Otter going for the second boar. He's not being greedy and trying to get multiple boars at the same time. That's fine. Yeah, you need something to keep the gate open. So Otter is going for a fast castle. Ragnar, on the other hand, he is going for feudal. He's got 2 villagers on gold, though. So this might actually be market abuse for a fast castle. Fast castle. Yeah, he'll probably sell the stone. Oh, actually, no. He's not going to need to sell anything. This is a good build for Ragnar. Oh, okay, he's idling the TC. Okay, yeah. Oh, never mind. Making a single vill now. And if we see more villagers on gold, that's probably going to be... That's going to mean that it's a siege mark push. It is definitely not going to be scouts for map control and fighting for the relics, because we see no stable and no barracks. Yeah, and Ragnar is up to castle. Yeah, this is going to be a siege monk push for Ragnar. Okay. Otter should be expecting this. Okay, he's on stone. So it's probably going to be defensive castle for Otter, which is going to be nice to defend against the monks in the siege. That said, Otter is going to have to be careful about the potential for elephants, or rather the siege elephants. Okay, scout fight. And Otter loses that because he chickens out. Okay. So Otter is going to have no vision whatsoever on what is coming. But he should be expecting this, right? You're against Bengalis. You know what they do best. And it's actually, you're actually so close that the line of sight of the gate might be able to tell you where the monastery is. Okay, cannot see it barely. I mean, if you saw this, a castle here, and you take down the monastery and the siege workshop. I mean, eventually the siege workshop. Yeah, there it is. He should be able to see the siege workshop now. Yeah. You see that. So you must be thinking, okay, so there's a monastery somewhere close to that. Yeah, he's going out with a villager to check. And castle here. Okay. Okay, but now... Yeah, you know, this is amazing. The castle is going to be able to take down the monastery and the siege workshop. But now, if you're Otter, you need a siege workshop of your own. Because then you sit with the mangonel behind this, and you're fine. You do not have to worry about the rams from your opponent. Okay, Otter double wall in this. So Otter, for the time being, he's fine. Even if his opponent gets the relics, the monasteries are going to go down anyway. Maybe he could even get fletching, so he is sure that his opponent cannot. Yeah. So if his opponent ungarrisons the relic on this side, I think he can get it and put it inside this one without getting shot by the castle. Or even if he gets shot, then he is a Bengali monk, so he is going to survive that because of the extra pierce armor. Yeah, I mean, 3 melee armor against Karambits. Yeah, Karambits are not going to kill those. You have a pattern from Otter. Okay. Okay, Siege Workshop now. He's... Yeah, because there's armored elephants in the one from Ragnar. Do we have redemption from Ragnar? No. We only have Sanctity and Fervor. And now Ragnar will try to get in from this side, but honestly Otter could just wall like this, and then you sit behind with Mangonel, and you should be safe. And we have more Karambits from the Bengali player than we have from the Malay one, because of the conversions. Okay, redemption coming in. So now this Mangonel will have to be careful. Yeah, and that's the good thing about... Another good thing about the siege elephants. You can heal them from a distance with the monks. So, compared to rams, you do not need villagers, right? You do not need to send a villager forward, and you do not need resources, because the monk killing is free. So that's one of the things which makes this thing better than a common ram. And yeah, I think Otter is in a lot of trouble now. Okay, he's making a lot of Karambits. So if he swarms this with enough Karambits, he might be able to kill the monks and eventually the elephant. I mean, eco-wise, he is ahead, right? Let's see what resources look like. There we go. Okay, resources collected ahead for Otter, but that's because, yeah, Otter... Yeah, Ragnar is ahead. I mean, I know Otter was ahead until a moment ago in eco numbers, but... Yeah, and this is what I meant. You go with the Karambits, you kill the monks. You probably take down the elephant. I mean, Karambits are so lightly armored that they were dying to the elephants. And now Otter is kind of okay. Okay, Otter is going to try and get in with the petards, but they're going to get converted. Okay, so he's going to drop a castle instead. Okay. So if you cannot get in through units, get in with... Yeah, just go back with the Karambits. Do not gift him some free units. I like the dedication though. So Otter is thinking, well, he is going Monk Rush, so his eco is not going to be the best behind this. Let's just overwhelm him with units. And also the monsters will go down to the castles. So eventually Ragnar is not going to be able to make more monks. But we have Imperial from Ragnar. So 36 bills up to Imperial. And we'll see where he takes this. And I wonder, if you're Otter, would it make sense to just go full on stone and just castle creep inside your opponent's base? He doesn't know his opponent is up to imp, but even if it did, maybe by these dropping score or whatnot, he knows his opponent has no option to take down castles, even if he gets to imp, right? There's no castle from Ragnar. The stone is denied. Stone is denied. Bengalis have no access to bomber cannons. The elephants will be, I wouldn't say pointless, but they're not going to be as useful as they normally are because of the Karambits. So honestly, yeah, I would like a castle creep from Otter. Or even, I don't know, maybe it's crazy talk, but just go for barracks and just flood your opponent's base with longswords, right? You know your opponent is not going to have... Okay, there's a castle, he bought it. And if you're Otter, you do not know about this. This is why you get Townwatch, by the way. And this actually gives Ragnar a chance. So Otter will start thinking about the Imperial Age the moment he sees the castle. which is going to be when the first trap starts attacking his own castle. And being melee, he's going to be up to Imperial quite fast. Okay, never mind. He's going to see it now because of the Karambits running in. So yeah, now if you're Otter, you have to think, okay, I have to go up to Imp. Sell the wood, and you should be up. Oh, his own Karambits raiding his eco. Okay, we already have the second trap coming in for Ragnar, so Otter's castle should go down. There are Karambits in the eco, which is not ideal. They have 2 armor, so the villagers will do nothing against them. Yeah, Otter is going to send his own Karambits back there. Yeah, this side of the base is quite cluttered, so... Okay, never mind. He can get the castle from there. Okay, okay. Okay, Otter is going... Okay, never mind. He was chasing the Karambits with villagers. Ooh. Okay, yeah, I thought the trap was missing too much. Right, but then I realized there was a house behind that, so one trap was attacking the house behind the castle, maybe because of a misclick. That actually saved some time to Otter, who now is an imp, but has no resources whatsoever to make traps. And this is the moment when you start thinking, maybe going up to imp as Otter was not the play. Maybe the play was to go Siege Workshop and just go rams, Karambits into your opponent's base and take down everything. I don't know. But yeah, this castle is going to go down because the traps can trap it from behind the walls. So no option for Otter to take those down. He has no university. There it is. So he's probably going to try and get chemistry now, but he has no military buildings. So his only army is going to be the Karambits for a while. Whereas Ragnar is going to go into the Rata. He has the first fletching, first attack upgrade. And yeah, I mean, just the base version, the melee version, is going to be able to destroy the Karambits. I mean, the Rata has the same armor as the Karambits when the Karambits are fully upgraded, armor-wise. And the Rata has no upgrades aside from the range attack. And then is there a melee version? Okay, no, they're all ranged. But yeah, the melee version has 10 attack. They also have trample damage, which is going to be amazing considering how the Karambits stack around them. Yeah, if these Ratas were already in in melee mode, they would have destroyed the Karambits. I mean, they're still destroying them, but it would have been faster. And the Karambits, if Otter focuses the trap, he might be able to take it down. Yeah, there we go. That buys him some time. Oh, there were more traps, multiple traps there, okay. Trap goes down, okay, that's fine. But now you have... Okay, you have a bombard cannon coming out. But supported by, what, 5 Karambits? That's not going to be enough. Yeah, sure, elephants against monks though, so... Yeah, I think this is pretty much over for Otter. Yeah, and he calls the GG. So Ragnar takes game 2, and this set ends 1-1 as well. Okay. Statistics, military. Yeah, they ended up having around the same army. Although, as you can see, Ragnar got to those numbers later on because of the Rathas and how easy it is to produce them, thanks to them costing wood and gold instead of food. Economy-wise, yeah, Bengalis were ahead. Not by that much, but we'll see once we get to the society page. Otter should have had the villager. Okay, no, he didn't have the villager lead. I thought he did. I mean, he did for most of the game. Yeah, I mean, even when Ragnar got to Imperial and got the 3 villagers, Otter was still ahead. Yeah, but then he started losing stuff, and yeah, that went downhill. Okay, nice one. I thought Otter was in a good position the moment I saw the castle go up here and denying, well, not denying, but keeping control of the siege workshop and the 2 monasteries. And then when he cleaned depression in his base, I think... So maybe the second castle here on the wall was a little bit too greedy. I know Ragnar was converting the petards, but just send more petards, right? Instead of sending one at a time, right? I mean, it was 2, but they were separated from each other. Just send like something like 5. You break through, you get in with the Kremlis, and then you maybe drop the castle inside your opponent's base. And that puts more pressure on him. So maybe that was the play. I don't know. It's hard, right? It's tough to fight against Bengalis. Especially because, as you can see, they have no food. But if they get to Imp, and they have their monks, they have their traps, they can just work with wood and gold because of the Rathas as well. So yeah, overall, tough match for Otter. Anyway, that was all for today's casting session. Now, I think I'm going to end the cast here. Maybe even the stream. I kind of wanted to play some, but maybe I'll be later. Yeah, maybe I'll be on later on. Not for casting, but just to stream my POV while playing. I'll consider it. But yeah, for the time being, I've been casting for 3 hours, so yeah, I need at least a break. So thanks to anyone who joined. I hope you enjoyed that. And I will be seeing you next time. Bye bye.